on my Facebook stay on because it's been freezing the last couple days. Hey, all day. What's going on, Antonio? Hey, yeah, good afternoon to you. Antonio's he's our resident crypto gentleman from the UK. We got people here all the time from London. We got New Zealand.
Oh yeah,
what's going on, Bradley?
Man's not hot.
Yeah, man's not. Here we go. Yeah, you know, we mess with the UK stuff. So a lot of news. We're gonna go ahead and jump straight into stuff. Well, first, what's the for the free Bitcoin? What's going on, Simitri? Welcome back for the free Bitcoin giveaway. Who won the Bitcoin yesterday?
Well, yesterday, Madam Crypto. Thanks for your comment. We were saying if the dollar were to go down, if something was to happen, a government shutdown maybe this weekend, how would you use your crypto? And she was saying it's 70% Bitcoin, 30% in Ethereum. And that she was using, you know, automated trading and a bunch of different things, which is good. You gotta have different ways to make money in the crypto space, a lot of different ways. So glad to hear that, and be sending that sending that Bitcoin to your public address today. So
all right,
thank you. What's up,
thank
Crypto
you for the comment, and then shout out to the mug.
Oh yeah, shout out to Booze and Bitcoin for the mug.
Buy the dip, people.
Buy the dip, people.
Buy the dip. What's going on, Sergeant Crypto? Decentralized. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome back, everybody. So yeah, a lot of good stuff going on in space. Of course, you know, that parabolic rise the last 48 to 72 hours, we all knew eventually it had to come back a little bit, and it did. No big deal. It's still technically at an all-time high.
Yep.
Is Coinbase out of Bitcoins?
Maybe.
Hey, they might be, right? I was gonna say they might be. This is the scary part. We always say whenever it hits an all-time high, it's actually an audit on these exchanges. So. A lot of them are getting audited right now, so yeah, we shall see who actually don't have the money they say. What's going on, Vince, Curtis, Kel, Corey? Thanks for joining here on the Facebook live stream.
Oh yeah.
All right, so what's going on? First, let's talk about the most important thing, people. Something we've been talking about. If you followed us or if you know us offline, one of the things we've been talking about literally since 2016, all through this year. Everybody who listened, we would tell. But the debt ceiling, you know, it was supposed to be October, I think 8th, around the same time on a Friday. They swept it under the rug. They pushed it here to December. We've been talking about it all week because this is what we think has the biggest impact on the price of Bitcoin beyond futures, beyond FOMO, altcoins, airdrops, forks. The main thing everybody's been waiting on in the international community, in the entire world, has been the United States and our debt. We are at our highest point in debt in the history of the United States at plus $21 trillion. Again, in October, we were supposed to figure out what we're doing debt ceiling. President Trump even, Facebook is freezing again. I hate this thing. President Trump even suggested that we get rid of the debt ceiling in its entirety, which, you know, we didn't do at the time. We just pushed it. But here we are. So, wow, this really isn't gonna work. Oh well.
Yeah, they swept that fiscal budget under since October. We talked about it in October because we thought it was coming, and they swept it on the rug and pushed it to today, actually. So when everybody gets off work and gets out of traffic and grabs a beer or whatnot, and people start going out to clubs, that's when they'll start voting on that's when they'll vote on the debt ceiling, and it'll probably go under a lot of people's radar until Monday. They may wake up and they're like, what? The government shut down again? Hopefully not. Hopefully it come to some sort of resolution that makes sense. But yeah, the debt ceiling is today.
Daly? Mr. Maddie, Alex Daly, what's going on? It says, so it looks like it's not dropping. Everything's good. You know, it has to retrace a little bit. It's people selling off a profit.
It doesn't go up forever, people.
So October is fiscal for every Fed. Exactly. So I was in the military. I know that as well. October is always fiscal year is begin to end in October, people. So the fact that we pushed this thing to December was already unprecedented.
It's a problem.
I will give it to the administration because you know what, they were trying to buy time. You know, I'm trying to look at it as in a positive way. They were trying to buy time so they wouldn't shut the government down for the last 3 months. Like I said, I've worked in the military when we had a sequestration of furloughs and the government shut down. It is not good for business. But again, we outlined that CFE, CBOE futures are supposed to launch the 10th this Sunday. CME is launching the 18th. Those dates were set based off our debt ceiling, people. Like, that's the thing they're not reporting in the news. So depending on what happens tonight, if we see a government shutdown come Monday morning, the price of Bitcoin is going to skyrocket, people. I mean skyrocket. I'm telling you now. Remember, we've been preaching this all year. The price of Bitcoin will skyrocket. It's not too late.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, if something this drastic does happen and it is bad, I wouldn't be surprised to see banks closing. That's something we talked about as well. Banks may actually close down if it gets parabolic. So do I think the shutdown is likely? Well, we had a shutdown. Like I said, we did in 2013. Yeah, we did last year. And then the 2013 one, I was in the military when I had people. I'm telling you, it was 12 or 13 officers sitting in the office working 3 hours a day because it was you couldn't deploy. There was no work. And the only reason we were there is because they still paid the military, but we literally sat there a few hours a day and went home.
Yeah, the government is full of people. You gotta remember that. These are people who have disagreements, who make human errors, human decisions. So even though people talk about like the government as a whole, you gotta think these are people. They can be just as bad as some of the other ones.
So Alex Daly, we only do the free Bitcoin on the YouTube comments. So if you did on YouTube comments and won, did you win?
Who?
Alex Daly? Today?
No.
So yeah, you gotta go to YouTube comments for the free Bitcoin people. So make sure you jump on our YouTube and put a comment there. So again, people, this is the thing we've been waiting all year. We actually had some long positions headed up to October when it was supposed to come out, and it didn't. But again, the scenarios is we can get rid of the debt ceiling like President Trump said, and I think the international community will not respond to that very well at all. We can try to raise it again, which does mean we are broke, which is something we know. Again, it won't have a favorable response. It'll be a better response, but it won't be favorable. Or we can do with something I've suggested plenty of times that will suck, but is needed at this point in our country, and that's to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
We are broke. We haven't been paying our debt. It might be a Great Depression, people. It might be the worst depression we've seen in a while, but you know what? Let's get it over with and start building again.
Oh yeah, and they may be able to have a WWE Raw style wrestling match in the Senate.
Culture
to solve it. I wish they could solve it that way because it would at least get some entertainment out of it. But this today what happens is a big indicator for what's going forward in the future. And like I said, we can't see the future, but history does repeat itself. So
right. So we'll see. Again, we'll see. Maybe they come up with some amazing plan, a great plan. Again, they're not going to release it until tonight. Like I told you, like Bitcoin and I both told you, that's the way they do business. All of a sudden, they stay up late and work late hours in the government. Didn't know that. But keep a lookout on that because the sooner you can get that news and figure out what they did, the sooner you can go in and set your trades up for Sunday and Monday. Because again, we've said this. All these futures products, they're businesses, people. They are businesses. So if the government isn't doing what they predicted either or what they want, they will pull that futures off the shelf the day of. They don't care. This is business. They're about mitigating risk and making money, not losing it. So keep an eye on that.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, besides that crazy stuff. Oh, one more thing with the debt ceiling. What happens with China?
Oh, yeah. Every time the bond yields in China reach 4%, there's a crash. And if you look at the China bond yield market right now, it's around 3.8, 3.9. So a lot of stuff is coming together at the same time. China bond yields are going to 4%. The most I've ever seen deliriousness about a new crypto or a new asset that has nothing to do with the US dollar, which is Bitcoin, and of course the debt ceiling today. All this stuff is coming together at the same time.
It's not a coincidence.
This weekend could be explosive. That's all I have to say.
It is not a coincidence. And honestly, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be explosive regardless. It has to be. These decisions and everything that's coming out with the futures in the United States and our debt. There's no choice, I don't think, for a smooth ride coming into next week. So it's either we're going to be popping more bottles, people, or I'm going to have a Craigslist ad going for everything in this place. No, all right, but that's all good. So something else that's going on. Goldman Sachs. What's up with Goldman Sachs? How much we love to hear about these institutional investors.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of futures, Goldman Sachs, they will allow some of their customers, they said it'll be a case-by-case basis, where they will clear
the wealthy ones.
Exactly. They'll clear the futures contracts that are coming, which basically what that means is if you open a futures contract for long or short, either one, whenever you settle it, it's settled in cash. So they need a bank to settle it, and Goldman Sachs has come out and said that they would do it for certain people, which is going against almost the entire rest of the industry because Citibank, Chase, I think they all came out and said they're not going to clear futures for their customers. So Goldman Sachs is kind of leading the way with that. However, we'll see because they said certain people. They could just allow the 100 richest people who are already rich.
Yeah, so we know what's going to happen. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Armando? We're good over here. Thank you for the like.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things with Goldman Sachs and the futures, the reason why banks don't want to get behind the people is because first, while futures will bring in a lot of institutional money, you also need to understand they're going to try and manipulate the market a little bit. Because with futures, you can make a lot of money when you short the market. So once institutional investors are able to come in, once they can, unload hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, they can bring it right out when they want to as well. And I see some of these big companies, CME, CFE with CBOE, I see them actually buying up all that Bitcoin and then selling it to make that price drop and then buying it back.
Which is what they might be doing right now.
Which is they might actually be doing that. You're right. Yeah. We might be in the process of that happening right now. The good thing about that, though, is even if the price drops, the one thing they aren't accounting for, well, maybe they are, maybe they're like, let's just shake out the weak hands and get it low. But there will always still be people like us in the market that if we see a $7,000 Bitcoin this time now or $8,000 Bitcoin, we will literally empty the account buying it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And there's many more like it. So that's the thing I don't think they are accounting for.
Yep, absolutely. And demand is at an all-time high. Like I said, I've seen people that never said anything about Bitcoin.
I saw somebody selling their baby on the corner last night.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Sell your wife, sell your house, and buy Bitcoin. But yeah, that's just FOMO at its best. Fear of missing out.
So we'll see about it. Anya92, you just missed it. We just got done talking about the debt ceiling. So when this video is over, you can go back. We went into detail. Who else is accepting Bitcoin? I saw something about Craigslist is hopping on the Bitcoin train.
All my Craigslist people, they are accepting cryptocurrency payments. So if you are a seller, you can put an option to accept cryptocurrency now on Craigslist, which I'm glad they finally used my idea that I emailed them in 2015.
They just read his email from 2015.
Yeah, I emailed them a while ago because I was like, why is this? I mean, it's peer-to-peer already. Like that was like the essence of Bitcoin. So I was like, well, it's already peer-to-peer. You just add in a different payment method, which if somebody like me accepts it, that should be a thing. So hopefully they send my royalty check for giving them that idea. But it's a few ideas out there that when they come out, which I'm sure they will, these emails are saved. I definitely sent it to a lot of people. So yeah, congrats on that.
Now we haven't checked this, but it looks like Essential in our comments is saying that Trump signed a short-term spending bill Friday to keep the federal government funded through December 22nd. Well, here we go. We're pushing it further. Never mind.
Pushing it further again.
Pushing it further again. So again, I'll be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if these future contracts was like, all right, well, we'll be launching January 1st. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, y'all want to play? We gonna play. So, but we gotta check that as well as. Somebody said Zapal. That's a good business name.
Oh yeah, Zapay. Yeah,
Zapay. There we go. Another big story coming out. South Korea's Financial Services Commission plans to reverse their ICO ban. The Financial Services Commission Vice Chairman Kim Young-boom, if I can't pronounce things right, people. He said that everyday retail investors, and again, it's funny that this story is coming out today. If you watched our show yesterday, we told you all the difference between the retail investors and credit investors and what the United States is doing. So this is coming from the vice chairman in South Korea. He might watch our show too, apparently. But he said that everyday retail investors will not be allowed to take part in ICOs for startups and companies financing using virtual companies. He said Bitcoin is complicated in its technology and investment methods. So considering its risk and technology expertise, it is right for professional investors to do an ICO, not regular citizens who are not informed of its technology and complicity. Again,
nice.
A government nanny state parent babying adult private citizens.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, I knew he was going to go there.
All right, daddy government, thanks a lot for the permission. I mean, it's obvious. Regular people making money takes away the power. So you got to find a way to cut that off. And that's what they're trying to do now.
So, and you know what, people, like I said, that's something we've been monitoring, I can't even say the word, monitoring kind of closely. We were in this space earlier. We saw a lot of opportunities with different things, but that was told to us as far as, trying to take on certain type of clients and stuff. They were like, well, they're not accredited. You can't have them. So again, the absurdity is that as a country, I'm sure South Korea hasn't, but I can speak for the United States. Our government doesn't even know what this thing is. Some of our citizens don't know what it is. So I'm just trying to figure out how we already came to a decision that regular people can't invest in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
If you want to take it back further, when we first started doing these videos, and the thing when we started our business last year, we were telling folks that the government does not want poor people to buy Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
We've been saying it, and ever since then, and we're seeing it this week, that choke is getting tighter and tighter on the public.
And the regulation is as if, because you run a hedge fund, because you run an investment group that's worth billions, you know about Bitcoin.
Right.
That's I've seen some of these dudes get on CNBC or whatever, any of these shows, and they literally are like, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know. Or they'll say something, yeah, it's probably in a bubble, but it might not pop to 100,000. Like, they don't know at all. And I mean, talking to some of these people personally, I know they don't know a lot as much as you think. And these are the people they're catering to as if they should have the final say on Bitcoin. When people like us, a lot of people around the world have been pushing Bitcoin and trying to work on Bitcoin related projects,
applications,
crypto
use cases,
related,
right?
Yeah, for years. So I'm sure we have more experience or have more of it, the ability to talk about it in a educational way, rather than somebody getting on TV and saying, well, I don't like it because I don't understand it, which is basically what we're getting. And then they regulate it so that only they can use it, which, so one of those things.
And this goes back to the war, people, the war that we're in between decentralized and centralized. Mm-hmm. That the decision is going to be on each individual private citizen of every country to decide, okay, I'm not going to buy into this, or I'm not going to invest in this because they're telling me I can't, even though, a couple years ago it wasn't even real to them. Yeah. Or am I going to go ahead and be an adult with the big boy pants and shoes and make my money and provide for my family and do great things in the world? So we've already decided, and we're pushing forward.
And real quick, Alex Daly, we don't send Bitcoin to everybody.
Yeah, we don't send Bitcoin to everybody.
We choose a winner,
or a full Bitcoin.
We say it the next day, and we didn't win so far, but keep watching. And like I said, we choose random, whoever was the best comment to us, send them free Bitcoin, but it's only one a day. So that's the only problem with that, with sending your address. So
right. So yep. Boom. All right. So of course, Jurassic Park never let us down. It looks like another one got loose, people. No, not a whole Bitcoin, people. We give small amounts of Bitcoin, which now some of the small amounts we gave out aren't small amounts anymore. Yeah. But as we tell people, we only give a few, we try to give a few dollars of Bitcoin out every day. Mm-hmm. And usually at this point now, every month is we look back at each other like, why are we still giving out free Bitcoin?
Yeah,
people?
I mean, we were giving out one whole Bitcoin.
Right, yeah.
We give away 60 Bitcoins by now.
We took a page out of Andreas Antonopoulos' book. We're trying to, like Bitcoin, as they says every day, bridge the crypto in the community. So that's our way of giving back, because we've done well in the space ourselves. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but here's the fun part, people. Dino of the day. We have a new dinosaur of the day. It is Stefan Ingves, the governor of Sweden's Riksbank and the chairman of global regulators at the Basel Committee, has warned investors that risk in the crypto market might be huge. He also said, in quote, "Let me stress that sometimes there's a bit of hype when people talk about fintech, thinking that old-fashioned banking is going to go away. But I don't think that's going to happen, because regardless of the technology available, in most countries we have had banks for hundreds and hundreds of years, and likely is going to continue that way." Well, first of all, Stephen, can we just do this for? Hey, can we do this for Stephen real quick? That is not it. That is not it. That's what happens when you live, though. That's it.
There we go. Hit it on one more time.
One more time. All right.
Hit it on one more time. There we
Stefan Ingves, you are our dinosaur of the day.
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, and banks being around for hundreds of years and never going anywhere?
Well, I mean, everybody thinks the industry they're in is going to last forever when it's been there for forever. But like we stated before, comparison-wise, I'm sure Blockbuster CEO is somewhere like, I know, right? Why didn't I buy Netflix at $1 million? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just like I'm pretty sure these banks will be looking like, why didn't we just integrate cryptocurrency?
Why
10 years from now,
so
like, why do we spend so much money on this? We could have just joined. But that's their prerogative, and like we've said with a bunch of these dinosaurs, Bitcoin has been killed over 100 times. So
I think it got like its 200 depth, didn't it?
Yeah, 200. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
And horse carriages were around for hundreds of years. Absolutely, Andreas Antonopoulos put that analogy perfect. So that's one of those things. Like you said, you just gotta read it and make sure everybody screenshot it. Make sure you save it. Because we keep all our receipts. Putting together a whole book, a collection of people who said, it's gonna fail, it's going away, and put that out in a couple years. So.
And kind of going along with that when it comes to, make sure you screenshot. Because we're serious about that. We screenshot everybody when they start talking about crypto for some of these big influencers. And, we screenshot it all because we keep our receipts. So with that, I think it was on CoinDesk. It was Cointelegraph had a story today that the title was Twitter Trolls Riding Bitcoin Train. And they basically outline how it's a lot of influencers in the social media space on Twitter or just regular people all of a sudden it's like throwing things out there for Bitcoin and saying stuff like, if you retweet this, we will give you a full Bitcoin. People, no one's giving you a full Bitcoin. No. Not happening. No. It is not happening. Yeah. So
and the best part about when I retweeted it is seeing how many people are gonna retweet it after me. I'm like, sorry, man, they're not gonna send that to you.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that. Let me take a peek at these comments. I see some funny comments coming up.
Yeah.
Are we still in the early adopter phase? A lot of people seem to own at least some Bitcoins all over news media. I think we are.
Well, it seems like it, but we're in the early adopter phase, yes. But mainstream is going to come, in my opinion, after, of course, the futures, and then into next year, and when NASDAQ opens their future. I think that's when mainstream happens, or when it's the beginning of mainstream. So. Because that means that all the banks or all the investment groups can get involved, and internationally, we already have seen other countries, they've just put Bitcoin futures on their exchange. So I think next year in June will be a good time to predict that early mainstream will start. 6 months of the people who just started is a pretty good time period. So yeah, I can see us leaving the early adopter phase going into early mainstream.
And see, legendary Trilix said Jamie Dimon changed his tone, saying he's highly skeptical of Bitcoin. Of course, Jamie Dimon is under charges, I think, in like Sweden or something for market manipulation, something the United States should have done. But since we protect our bankers, they didn't. Yeah. But he definitely manipulated the market when he called Bitcoin a fraud, which has inherent technological use cases. And it takes energy to even create. So I'm glad one country stood up and tried to arrest him. And we also know now what countries heavily invested because they came out pissed off. So that must mean something.
And somebody said, do you think the countries who have adopted it, let's see.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah. Like, P-Man Van, because, was it Bulgaria? I think Bulgaria has $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. If you think some of these smaller countries that have Bitcoin aren't going to actually flip it into something else, you are mistaken. Because I can tell you right now, these countries like Estonia, Bulgaria, I know China's confiscated a lot. I mean, the U.S. government has a good amount.
The U.S. government has Bitcoin people. Yeah.
I mean, I think that actually is going to be a way to, these smaller countries that haven't had a way out, that's a way for them to flip their economy going into the future. So I would definitely not bet against it going right now. And is that Venezuela petro back? Well, that's centralized cryptocurrency. So
that's like the
I can't really comment on that because we haven't seen a government cryptocurrency work or get started. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Don't think you'll see it on Bittrex though.
And Java, next year is going to be the 9-year official anniversary. The white paper was made in 08. Bitcoin was released until 09. So let's see. And we'll do one more quick conversation. Oh yeah. CryptoQ said more exchanges to come to provide liquidity should stop bottlenecks like Kraken, Coinbase, and Bittrex.
Yeah. Kraken.
Exactly. Kraken's been doing bad. And you know what? Somebody posted a great thing on Twitter. I'm pretty sure we retweeted on our channels. But they were saying how Coinbase, everybody's talking about it's the #1 app in the App Store. And they basically said that, they got there by doing everything that didn't help the community, not the other way around, which is semi-true. So, hopefully some of this new stuff next year will stop some of this bottleneck. Let's see what else we have. Oh, my goodness. Another celebrity endorsement. We have another celebrity endorsement. This one is by, was it Lionel Messi, FC Barcelona, the most infamous footballer, soccer player for those in the States. He signed an endorsement deal to represent Siren Labs, a company creating blockchain-based hardware for the crypto community. He released an official statement. Listen, I love him playing football as well. However, I am not sold on his blockchain endorsements yet, but we shall see.
Yeah, just based on the other ones. I mean, who else? Floyd Mayweather?
Right.
DJ Khaled?
Yeah, Messi is the football guy. I give you that. I mean, for sure.
Hey,
but this is
Future is the guy to lean. He tweeted about Bitcoin and it dropped 2 hours later. So.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So celebrity endorsements are a thing. I mean, good. We've talked to a few ourselves.
It's good for a mainstream adoption.
If you see Chief Keef say something about Bitcoin, just know we
told
him first.
We did give Chief Keef first.
I mean, it's a few famous people you tell about it, and they're just like, whatever, blah, I'm already rich.
I'm already rich, yeah.
And then
they see us catching us. No, they're like, hey,
what happened? And then that's
how y'all getting the party.
So yeah, these celebrity endorsements, they're fun, but that's one of those things you just gotta take it with a grain of salt. So
yeah, but as far as just soccer or football on the global scale and him being the #1 player, all that means is more people are going to rush into crypto. So we shall see.
Yeah, rappers wearing Bitcoin chains, maybe, but I think it'll be more like they'll mention it in the song first, and then maybe we'll see. If somebody has a Bitcoin chain, I mean, they've already had them. They've had one company was selling 14-karat Bitcoin chains like 2014, 2015. So almost everything you're going to see people coming into the next year has been done or started a long time ago. It's just you're just finding out about it. So yeah, trust me, it's coming.
So there's a lot of good stuff. It looks like, what is it? Java said my mom is a client of BlackRock. They've been talking about Bitcoin since $35.
Yeah,
talking about it. And that's the thing. A lot of these, the banks knew this was coming, people. They knew it was coming. I don't know what their game plan was, but they did know it was coming, and I guess they really didn't think anything of it. I mean, and I think that's true. I think they really didn't think anything of it because, a banker told Bitcoin's A. I've talked to bankers, and they literally are like, nah, it won't last. Like, it's not real. So we shall see, though.
Yeah, and we got those screenshots as well.
Yeah, we really do. Let's see, Australian Stock Exchange. The Australian Stock Exchange will become the world's first to adopt the blockchain. Australian Securities Exchange announced today that it intends to implement blockchain technology to replace its current system for processing equity transactions. They're doing a partnership with Digital Asset, who are providing the tech, and they will be the world's first securities exchange to adopt blockchain technology in the operation of its core services.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just let it happen, people. Stop fighting.
Just learn it, use it.
You don't fight a riptide. You just gotta let it take you out to the ocean and you swim back later, okay? Like,
oh yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, that's if they they can follow through and get that thing rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and, Andres. Yeah, but yeah, if Australia can get it rolling, in my opinion, like I said,
thanks,
just
Michelle.
bring more people into the space, and it'll make some of this liquidity that CryptoQ commented on with these other exchanges. You won't have to worry about it because it'll be so many options that at some point you won't have to deal with an exchange that doesn't work. If it doesn't, people will move, and we're starting to see that now. So it's just the natural order of things. Bitcoin evolves a lot faster than certain stuff, but we can see it now.
So I think it's also one of those things. A lot of people, these banks are trying to do their own. Like, we talked about how Bloomberg said that they were a what did they say? They said some of the craziest things the other day. Bloomberg said that they were a blockchain or something, but that the CEO of Bloomberg said, well, we're a blockchain. We just control it, not the users. It's like, you're a database then. You're saying you're a database.
We have databases already, bro.
So I'm glad to see the Australian Securities and Stock Exchange going that way because to me it's saying we're not scared to be transparent. Yeah. That's the fight with this whole thing. When it comes to decentralization, when it comes to blockchain, Bitcoin, they're fighting transparency. What does our government not want us to see? What do these banks not want us to see? The things we already know that you're stealing.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, that's all. The blockchain is just a transparent way to do business. People, it's another data ledger online that everyone in the world can see. Absolutely. So you can't say, oh, well, we're missing $30 million. We don't know where it went. We can go and say, well, it looks like you sent it to this address right here.
Whoever owns this address,
we know where it went. So they're fighting that, but. Did you guys see that the community donated over $700,000 to Andreas Antonopoulos? We did.
It's up to over $1 million now.
Is it over $1 million?
Yeah, I think some guy sent like 40 Bitcoin and sent it again. So yeah, I think he's over $1 million. Congrats on that.
Congrats, Andreas Antonopoulos.
Because he taught people like me who are teaching people like you. You know what I mean? Most of the people who are have been in it a while. They have big Twitter followings. They all watch Andreas Antonopoulos. Everybody did since 2010 to 2011. He's been putting in the work, so him being a millionaire to me is well deserved. Good job, Andreas. Thank you.
Thank you, Andreas Antonopoulos.
1 mil in 2 days.
Again, people, if you haven't checked him out, check out Andreas Antonopoulos on YouTube. You can go to his what is that thing called? The Patreon website. You can actually donate to him. The whole thing, just to give you some background really quick. Everyone thought he was a Bitcoin millionaire already or a Bitcoin gazillionaire because he's been talking about it for so long. But he's been talking about it and traveling off his own money.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a millionaire. He didn't invest. So that's why the page was started to donate to him so he wouldn't have to take, like he started taking talks with like banks and business conferences, and that's not what he wants to do. He wants to give back to the community. So he's able to do that with the funding that everyone gives him.
Yeah, and I feel him because the early Bitcoin days, I was living off of it. You know what I mean? Like you make a salary. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a totally different game than it is now. So yeah, I feel him on that.
All right, so we'll answer a couple more if we got here. Do you think the superpower countries of the world would try and intervene with weaker countries that are adopting Bitcoin? Of course. Did you not see what we did to Gaddafi?
Yeah.
You had Hillary Clinton there laughing when he got killed. I mean, and he was trying to do a gold-backed currency. So, yeah, you're talking about an entire currency that's going to shift the whole global environment. We've been saying already, next year people getting killed. I mean, that's the honest truth. And let's see. I saw a couple quick good ones. I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah! Shout out to Chase That Coin for bringing you Max. Appreciate you. Yeah, Chase That Coin has an awesome channel, and we just people in the crypto space trying to help. So yeah, one of the good friends I've met through the Bitcoin space. Let's say a lot of countries haven't. Yeah, I guess they're sitting on the sidelines right now, waiting to see what happens with Bitcoin. But hey, the ones who do have it, hey, congrats to you because you are definitely a step ahead of most people.
That's the thing we got put out. So I just saw this, and I know you all have been asking, as we say we're gonna put it out, how to get off Coinbase. Somebody said best alternative to Coinbase for new users. Best alternative for new users, in my opinion, I would say Gemini right now.
Yeah, Gemini. Uphold as a backup.
Uphold. So sign up with Uphold, uphold.com. They've actually been around they've been around since I think like June this year. And we started using them. They do good. The only thing I don't like about Uphold is that it will take about 7 to 10 days to get everything through. But Uphold is good, and then their limits are sometimes low. And then Gemini. Right now, Gemini is the best, even though they're trying to go the suit direction. I know why they're doing it, but they need to stay with the community. Come on, Winklevoss twins. Tony, what's going on? It dropped a few thousand. Think it will dip more.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's a strong possibility. I mean, it's high right now, especially if what somebody just told us about the government pushing up the debt ceiling into the 22nd is true. If that's true, it definitely would dip a little bit more. Yeah. But that's good. That's good news. When it dips, you can buy. And let's see. We'll give a couple more quick ones. You got anything you want to add? Oh, meetup.
Bitcoin meetup out here in LA. We'll have the official flyer with the location. It'll be from 6 to 7 next Thursday, December 14th. So look out for that. We'll be putting that out on Monday so we can get everybody who wants to join us for a quick drink and chat about Bitcoin. It's informal. It's not like we're gonna be there doing a full conference.
Right. Yeah, we're not doing this. We're not doing conference and seminar. We're gonna be drinking beer, people, and just chilling. So we might answer a couple questions.
You know, we hope. Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you're right around the corner.
Yeah, so, there we go. Exactly. So, so definitely look out for that. And we'll put out. We got a few. There we go. We got a few LA. So it's gonna put it out. Yeah, we'll put it out. Just check out Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We'll put it on all those spots. So. Same name.
There we go. Oh, yeah, NoHo. Nice. Okay.
NoHo. Anybody in EHO?
Is that beer funded by Bitcoin? So the beer isn't funded by Bitcoin. Actually,
tried.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I was just about to say. People, we keep telling you when everybody's like, well, nobody accepts Bitcoin. You have to just talk to these business owners. So the place we're having it at is actually a popular place out here in the LA area. We talked to him. He doesn't accept it yet, and we hope to have a huge meetup to show him how much money he's leaving on the table.
And be like, hey, all these people would have paid with Bitcoin and paid a little extra just because. But yeah.
So, and then last thing, I saw this Overtime Incorporated said Walter Zimmerman, an analyst who's been tracking Bitcoin charts, said that popular cryptocurrency is like a video game filled with spectators who could propel it higher. You know what? I get what he's saying, and on the front end, I agree. At this point especially, there is a lot of people just jumping in for the price, the money, the action, the hashtag on Twitter, the boot gets their follower count up. But the positive thing about that is that they're going to learn more about our financial system. They're going to learn more about having control of their own money and becoming their own bank. So
absolutely.
That's a positive.
That's definitely a positive, yeah. And for the free Bitcoin, we'll go with that theme. If there was a Bitcoin video game, how would you design it? Because I know some people, it would be, whole Final Fantasy type game, going through dragons and whatnot. Could be, you know, a sports type game with Bitcoin. I don't know. If any type of Bitcoin video game, what would you include in, or crypto video game, I should say. Okay. And throw in, you know, some nice ideas, usually the funniest or some of the funniest, best ideas.
Yeah, do a funny idea over this
one. And yeah, definitely. We'll send you that free Bitcoin, add your public address, and we'll send that to you. So.
Oh, that was Antonio. You better put that in the comments, man. That was some good ones.
Yeah, some good ones. Already
that was a good one. All right, hey, as always, we went a little long today. You know, we try to keep it around 30 minutes. What's going on, Evan? Got to give Evan a shout out. He's a great supporter of us. Alpha Robbins, what's going on? We appreciate you all joining us on the Facebook, IGO, YouTube. Continue support. Like we said, next week we'll have that meetup. We're putting out that information. A lot of great things to come in January 2018 as well. Until then, we will see you all Monday, and cross your fingers for the weekend, I guess,
Oh, yeah.
All right, have a good one, folks.
Have a good one.